This is gonna be crazy right here, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, man, what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, man, Jay Willie Silly, man. AKA Mr. Take It Easy before you end up like Beezy. Make sure y'all follow my Twitch, man. Subscribe to my second channel. Everything you need to know about your boy Jay, you know what I'm saying? It's in the description down below. You know what I mean? Like I said, y'all, we finna hit 7.6K. By the end of this year, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I'm gonna be at 10,000. You know what I mean? So come join the growth. Come watch the growth. You know what I mean? Come see your boy Jay be great. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, enjoy greatness, man. You know what I mean? Enjoy greatness. But we are heading to 10,000. You know what I mean? 10,000. But, bro, this right here, if y'all do not know, man, Antonio Brown has been charged with attempted murder. You know what I'm saying? If y'all do not know, he shot at some people. I don't know if it was an event. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man, my man's tweaking. You know what I'm saying? They say it's CTE. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man, but hey, man, AB, man, sad to see my boy AB. You know what I'm saying? AB at the Steelers, man, that was special right there. Even AB at the Buccaneers, like if AB got in his own way, I ain't gonna lie, because even when AB walked out, y'all remember when he walked out that game in the Buccaneers game, AB was going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like AB was a very important piece to that Buccaneers team. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I feel like AB got in his way. Like, I feel like AB could have still been a Steeler. Probably not still been a Steeler, but I feel like he could have still been in the NFL. I ain't gonna lie. That's just me personally. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Antonio Brown messed up Antonio Brown. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he wasn't talented enough to be in the league. It's not like he wasn't putting up the numbers to be in the league. Like, Antonio Brown was Antonio Brown. You know what I'm saying? Bro, literally the reason he not in the league right now. That's why I just try to say. That's why I always say, bro, your own worst enemy is you. You know what I mean? I don't know. They say CTE. I don't know what. You know what I mean? I ain't finna follow no rumors. You know what I'm saying? CTE and all that. You know what I'm saying? Probably got banged up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is CTE is real. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to say if he does have it. I'm not going to say if he don't have it. You know what I'm saying? But I know he just started tweaking. You know what I'm saying? He just started tweaking, bro. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, man, and we, like I said, I ain't going to say we seen this behavior before, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's a lot of wide receivers, bro, that just wasn't coachable. You know what I'm saying? Terrell Owens, you know, you had some wide receivers that just wasn't coachable. We seen it with A.J. Brown that's just not coachable. I ain't never seen a wide receiver run out mid-game. Now, I ain't never seen that. So that's all probably like, bro, probably do got CTE. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I ain't never seen that in history. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I just don't like speaking on things I don't have no knowledge of.
Today, he is facing 25 years in prison for attempted murder. A few years ago, he won a Super Bowl with the greatest quarterback of all time. Antonio Brown's downfall is so insane that if you wrote his life story as a movie script, it would be criticized for being too unrealistic. Sideline temper tantrums, threatening statements to reporters, tweets that sound like they came from a 13-year-old boy, celebrating losing.
Caitlin Clark blocked. He got blocked by Caitlin Clark.
Threatening statements to reporters, tweets that sound like they came from a 13-year-old boy, celebrating losing $30 million, public meltdowns that nearly killed a child, and firing shots in a crowd of innocent bystanders. And on top of all of that, he brutally disrespected the only man who believed in him when nobody else did, Tom Brady. This is how Antonio Brown went from a future Hall of Famer to a Twitter troll facing prison time. A player like Antonio Brown was never destined to be a Super Bowl champion. He was drafted in the 6th round of the 2010 NFL Draft. 194 players were selected before him, and 21 of them were wide receivers, which is the same position he played. Most players selected this late pretty much never expect to play outside of practice, so when he arrived to the Pittsburgh Steelers practice camp, he did everything he could to make a good first impression to the coaches.
We're in practice every day, and he's torching our number one corners, like our top guys, and we're like, is this practice or is this for real? Like, you know, you don't naturally pay attention to a 6th rounder, but you noticed him, like when he's walking around, his focus, like his gaze, his stare. If somebody's speaking, he's really listening. You can feel him taking that in.
The very first time AB got his hands on the ball in an NFL game, he took it 97 yards for a touchdown. Despite the amount of talent he clearly had, Antonio spent a majority of his first season on the sideline. In his sophomore season, he got to play more, catching 69 passes, nice, and racking up over 1,000 receiving yards. He had also proven to be an exceptional kick returner and was selected to take part in the 2012 Pro Bowl. By this point, he had proven himself to the Steelers, and they offered him a 5-year contract extension worth $42 million.
I feel like that's where, you know what I mean? And like I said, I don't feel like he got CTE. I'm gonna keep it real with you. That's just me. I just feel like, you know, shoot, AB just stupid, man. That's how I feel. I don't feel like he got CTE, bro. You know what I'm saying? Honestly. You know what I mean? I know he probably said it, bro, but I'm telling you, after bro got that money, that's when bro started changing. That's when bro got wild. You wasn't hearing about AB, bro. You know what I'm saying? Antonio Brown wasn't giving no problems until you started getting them extensions. You know what I mean? That's why I say, man, money could be your worst enemy, bro. Real talk. If you let it be your worst, it could be your worst enemy. I don't think bro got CT. I think bro just stupid. I think bro just throw. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? I don't even think he throw it. I think bro just stupid. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, got money, bro, and just start acting stupid. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. So everybody got CTE? You know what I mean? Everybody that do dumb junk, they got CTE. So I guess everybody got CTE then. But just because of Antonio Brown, we're going to try to make an excuse for Antonio Brown? Oh, no. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, we ain't going to do that. I feel like Antonio Brown just acting real stupid. Let's blame everybody else that's shooting at people in innocent crowd. Let's blame everybody else that got CTE. But when it comes to celebrities, we always want to make an excuse for them, boy. One thing about y'all, boy, y'all always want to make an excuse for celebrities. Dang, man. You know what I'm saying? Let this been a regular person. Oh, he's a psycho. Oh, he's crazy. You know what I mean? CTE wouldn't been the cause of anything. No CTE, no brain damage, no mental health, nothing. You know what I mean? No schizophrenic, none of that. No other cases. No, he's just a psycho. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you know, now Antonio Brown started tweaking once he got this money. That's when he started tweaking.
By 2014, he was already ranked the 23rd best player in the league by his peers after putting up an impressive 1,500-yard season with 8 touchdowns. But somehow he managed to outdo himself the following year with nearly 1,700 receiving yards and 13.
Hey, look at AB, bro. I don't care, bro. Look. I do not care, bro. You know what I'm saying? That I don't care, bro. You see, like when he was playing games, bro. When he was playing games, he actually was putting up numbers. See, this when AB started tweaking, bro. You know, AB started tweaking. You know what I'm saying? But, bro, I do not care, bro. I do not care, you know what I'm saying, about, you feel me? Like, I do not care, bro. I don't care. I don't care. Like, he in the Hall of Fame. I don't care. He a Hall of Famer. Don't let, you know what I'm saying, what he doing in his personal life, get him from the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Hall of Fame is about football, bro. So don't make Hall of Fame about personal life. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what happened to AB, bro. I do not care. You know what I'm saying? You know it's an American justice system. So AB being AB, bro, he's not going to get 25 years to life. We already know how America is. You know what I'm saying? Celebrities is not held up to the same. That's how America is, bro. America just dumb, I told y'all. So he's not going to get 25 years if that's what y'all wondering. Y'all seen what happened with Diddy, right? Anybody who got charged with what he got charged with would have got life without parole. Know what I'm saying? He only got like 3-4 years. Know what I mean? So the way that the law is not the same for us, how it is for them. You know what I mean? I just want to tell y'all that. The kind of middle class and, you know what I'm saying? And the poor, you know, when it comes to them type of people, oh, the law only applies to us. But when it comes to people like him, oh, it don't apply to him. Let somebody else shoot. I bet you he get probation. How much on the bet he ain't going to get? Bro, he not going to spend a time in jail. How much on the bet? The law don't apply to famous people, rich people. We know this. That's how America is. That's why I can't stand America. Look, goofy America. I can't stand America, bro.
Antonio Brown was seemingly unstoppable.
He gonna get probation
to become one of the greatest wide receivers in NFL history, but then a single play drastically changed his fate.
Went to the head. Lewis Harris is gonna be flagged for this on the.
See, that's what they saying CTE.
During a playoff game, Cincinnati Bengals linebacker Vontaze Burfict violently charged into AB's head, knocking him unconscious and giving him a severe concussion. This play was the catalyst for a handful handful of rule changes that still exist in the league to this day. Vontaze Burfict was also fined $50,000 and suspended for the first 3 games of the next NFL season. Many consider this hit to be the moment that everything went wrong for Antonio, and that now he is suffering from the degenerative brain disease known as CTE. But it's not exactly that simple. Research suggests that CTE is associated with long-term exposure to repeated
He wasn't
hits to the
getting
head.
that.
There is no strong evidence that shows that getting 1 or more concussions or other mild traumatic brain injuries or occasional hits to the head leads to CTE.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that man ain't got no CTE. That's what I'm saying, bro. People just want to make excuses for people's behavior. Accountability, bro. That's what people lack, accountability. That man ain't got no freaking CTE, man.
Then again, AB has been taking hits to his head his whole life. This was just the biggest and most brutal of them all. But the biggest reason why people suspect Antonio Brown is suffering from CTE is because of his behavior. The Boston University CTE Center is one of the leading authorities on the condition and has affirmed that there is no way to diagnose CTE until someone passes away and their brain is examined by pathologists. However, they have published numerous studies that say becoming emotionally explosive, having a short fuse, or being out of control, physically violent, and or verbally violent is consistent with those suffering from CTE, and usually those symptoms occur slowly over the course of years. In a way, I think people secretly hope he is suffering from a degenerative brain
No
disorder,
cap.
because AB went from a focused, determined, and hardworking young man to a dangerous, violent asshole destroying everything in his path. As I've gotten older, I sometimes think it's time to start taking my own health a little more seriously. I have a handful of different going to a professional. That's why I was so relieved top-rated in-network doctor today.
You say he def got CTE? I don't think he got
Cracks
CTE.
began to show during the 2016 playoffs, when Antonio bizarrely chose to live stream inside of the locker room on Facebook after a win over the Kansas City Chiefs. In the live stream, Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin can be heard disparaging their upcoming opponent, the New England Patriots.
Let's start our preparation week. A day and a half. They played yesterday. Our game got moved to tonight. We're going to touch down at 4 o'clock in the morning. So be it. We'll be ready for that. But you ain't got to tell them they constantly coming. Because some of us might not like the damn wolf stickers.
Ironically, you can hear guys saying to keep a low profile and stay off social media, not knowing AB was recording the whole thing.
Keep it tight. Cool on social media, man. This is about us. Nobody else, man.
Now, I think we can all agree that this locker room talk is pretty mild, probably standard for most football teams, but it's more about the principle. Live streaming inside a locker room is not only a violation of privacy, but just an easy thing to not do out of respect. It was also revealed that AB had signed a $244,000 contract with Facebook to live stream on the platform, making you wonder where his priorities were. Antonio apologized for live streaming, and Coach Tomlin hinted that AB could find himself off the team if he didn't correct his behavior.
I definitely don't want that to be his story. I'm sure he doesn't want that to be his story. So he has to address these things.
The team did their best to look past the situation, and Antonio continued to dominate on the field. For the 2016 and 2017 seasons, he was ranked as the 4th best player in the league, and in 2018 he was ranked 2nd overall, behind none other than Tom Brady himself. But this only seemed to inflate his ego and caused avoidable drama for the Steelers. He showed up to training camp in a helicopter, and even arrived 4 hours late for an appearance at a children's hospital. He felt like he was the star of the team and would throw temper tantrums whenever he was treated as anything less than that, which started to cause friction between him and his quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. Before the infamous hit, the offensive duo had great chemistry, and Antonio always spoke highly of Ben.
Anytime you got a great quarterback, man, with 2 championship rings, a competitor like Ben, man, who says that, man, that just add fuel to the fire. And it's definitely gratifying, definitely humbling, and it's an honor to have him say that about me.
But things
changed. It's just, bro, you gotta, you know, like I said, self-arrogance. That's what I feel like happened with AB. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep it real. Self-arrogance. You know what I'm saying? Not being humble. And I feel like you should be humble in every situation. You know what I'm saying? When pride comes, then comes disgrace. You know what I'm saying? But with humility comes wisdom. You know? So when you prideful, you know what I'm saying? When you have that self-arrogance and that self-exaltation about yourself, you're destined to fail. You know what I mean? Disgrace is destined to happen. Now, that's what I feel like happened with AB. I feel like AB just not, you know what I'm saying? Like he was humble at first, you know what I mean? And then when he started seeing that he was a star and started seeing that, you know, like big time player, I feel like he just, you know, that player that he once was, you feel me? I just feel like he wasn't humble. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I feel. You know, I feel like a lot of people has a problem with being humble. I don't care who did you wrong. I don't care who overlooked you. Always be humble. And like I said, I got it tattooed on me, bro. So I can remind myself, you know what I mean, to always stay humble. No matter if you look down on me, you know what I'm saying? No matter if you overlook me, always stay humble. You know what I'm saying? You know, straight up. People be talking about, man, being humble can only get you so far, man. You better stay humble, man. You know what I mean? God will show you, bro. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you right now. You better stay humble. You feel me? I don't care what somebody did to you. Stay humble. A lot of y'all ain't humble, bro.
During a regular season game against the Baltimore Ravens, Roethlisberger missed
Ain't
Brown,
gonna lie, bro,
who
was
wide
wide
open in
open.
the middle of the field.
Ain't gonna
AB
cap.
walked back to the sideline and began having a meltdown, screaming at coaches and even flipping a water cooler in anger. Temper tantrums were normal at this point, with head coach Mike Tomlin saying, "This is not Antonio's first rodeo." Ben Roethlisberger was trying to be professional, but was clearly annoyed with his superstar receiver's behavior. He said, "He's superhuman on the football field, and when that happens, it almost brings him back to being a mere mortal, if you will, because it gets in his head and it just messes with all of us a little bit. I'm not trying to call AB out, I just think this is causing a distraction that none of us really need." However, things were about to get so much worse, because Antonio went from causing slight distractions to committing real crimes.
We are following a developing story involving Steelers wide receiver Antonio Brown. We've learned that he is facing a lawsuit in Florida. This is a civil suit.
After walking into his apartment in Miami, Florida, Brown made the shocking discovery that $80,000 in cash as well as his 9mm pistol were missing. He called the police alleging that the cleaning staff had stolen from him while he was away. However, the investigating officers did not make any arrests. The following day, Brown went into a fit of rage and began throwing furniture off the 14th story balcony. Surveillance footage shows items falling from the sky near the apartment building's pool area, nearly striking nearby tenants. One of these individuals was a small child who was nearly struck by multiple large vases that landed only a few feet away. Brown also broke mirrors, light fixtures, and punched holes in the walls, ironically totaling around $80,000 in property damage. Antonio was sued by the apartment complex for the cost of the repairs, as well as sued by the legal guardians of the toddler who was nearly hit. And even though this was a clear warning sign that something was deeply wrong with Antonio Brown, the Steelers organization continued to sweep his problematic behavior under the rug, mainly due to his unbelievable success on the field. However, it was reaching a tipping point where his antics and attitude were just too much to deal with. The following season, in a Week 2 game against the Kansas City Chiefs, Antonio became upset with his lack of targets. His frustration was visible on the sidelines as he refused to celebrate with his teammates after scoring, and he opted out of speaking to the media after the game. A former Steelers employee reacted to the situation saying, "AB needs to thank his lucky stars, because he was drafted by a team that had Ben, and Ben got AB paid. You know darn well he wouldn't put up those numbers for other teams." Rather than letting this comment roll off his shoulder, AB chose to throw more fuel on the fire, tweeting, "Trade me, let's find out." This tweet was quickly deleted, although the damage had already been done, and discussions surrounding Antonio's desire to leave the Steelers began to grow. From here, anyone who was critical of AB felt the wrath of his Twitter fingers. In response to a somewhat critical article about his off-field personality, Antonio would threaten the article's creator in a now deleted tweet, "Jesse Washington, wait till I see you, bro. We gon' see what your jaw like." But everything reached the point of no return in Week 17. In preparation for the final game of the regular season, the Steelers had a record of 8 wins, 6 losses, and a tie, and desperately needed a win to keep their playoff aspirations alive. Roethlisberger had become more critical of AB in the final stretch of the season, calling him out directly in team meetings and demanded he be removed from practice. An insider said, "Wednesday in practice, I heard he ran the wrong route. Big Ben threw the ball on the ground around, said, "Get him out of here. Get somebody else in there." And that's when AB was at his boiling point, and that's when he went off. This moment sent AB into another fit of rage, yelling profanities at his quarterback and even threw a ball at him in anger. Antonio left the facility shortly after and did not practice again for the rest of the week. When asked about his absence, Coach Tomlin did his best to cover up the situation and blamed issues with his knee for his lack of participation. Brown was expected to play in the upcoming game, but when he realized he had been benched, he left the stadium at halftime. At this point, the relationship between AB and the organization was destroyed, and Antonio officially requested a trade out of Pittsburgh. And even though this
Bro freaking left in halftime. Bro left the look. Bro left the game in half. Bro, I ain't never heard a player do this. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Feel me? Like I ain't never, you know what I mean, heard a player do this. This man left at halftime. You know what I'm saying? Halftime, chat. In the middle of the game, bro scurried off the lot. Yeah, bro tweet.
Bad in the next
I think bro probably do that
AB was
CTE.
about to destroy his reputation in the NFL.
So I ain't never seen nothing like this.
The Las Vegas Raiders chose to trade for him
Oh
in
my
March of 2019. The Raiders hoped that a new system could allow AB to return back to his roots with a drama-free environment where he was basically the #1 guy. But it did not work. While preparing for the 2019 season, it was revealed that Antonio had gotten severe frostbite on his feet after entering a cryotherapy chamber with improper footwear, causing him to miss almost the entirety of training camp. Already making headlines for the wrong reasons, Antonio would be extremely unprofessional when he made his way back onto the field. His old preferred helmet model, the Shut Air Advantage, had been recently banned from the NFL, meaning that AB would have to find a new approved model to use for the season. When given his new helmet, Antonio began loudly voicing his displeasure and stormed out of the facility in anger. He claimed that his new helmet was obstructing his vision and making it difficult for him to reliably catch balls, so he repeatedly attempted to sneak his old helmet onto the field. He even tried to paint it to match the Raiders' silver and black color scheme, but eventually was caught and forced to use an approved helmet. Frustrated, Antonio threatened to retire if his demands were not met, and after weeks of back and forth, AB finally caved in and agreed to wear an approved helmet for the upcoming season. But the drama was far from over. Due to repeated unexcused absences at practices, AB was fined $13,000 by the team. He posted to Instagram, "When your own team wants to hate, but there's nothing stopping me now. The devil is a lie. Everyone gotta pay this year, so we clear." The leaked document reveals that he had also been fined another $40,000 and warns of future infractions if his behavior doesn't change. The following day, AB confronted Raiders GM Mike Mayock about his decision. He began cursing out the man who signs his paychecks, threatened to assault him, and repeatedly called him a cracker. As things escalated, he had to be held back by teammates before breaking free, punting a football, and yelling, "Find me for that." Antonio initially apologized for his behavior until he realized that $29 million in guaranteed money was voided from his contract, all because of his behavior. He said, "I have worked my whole life to prove that the system is blind to see talent like mine. Now that everyone sees it..."
Bro, talent can only get you so far in this league, bro. Yeah, you talented, one of the most talented that we've ever seen, but good God, you a problem maker, bro. Nobody want to deal with no problematic dude. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, AB, you're not the first talented wide receiver ever. You know what I mean? You see JSN, you know what I mean? Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua. Like, bro, it's a, you know, AB, it's going to take him a while to get to that AB stature, but it's a lot of, you know, I'd rather take, you know, wide receivers that's disciplined than talented any day, bro. So AB, I know I want to deal with AB. I ain't gonna lie, AB, get the freak off my team with a trade AB.
Conform to the same system that has failed me all those years. I'm not mad at anyone.
I
I'm just asking
played
for the freedom
football.
to prove them all wrong. Release me, Raiders. At this point, any logical person thinks he's got to be losing his mind, right? Because his argument just doesn't make any sense. Antonio is acting like the NFL was similar to being trapped in a prison or locked into a corrupt industry with no way out. Wearing an approved helmet, showing up to practice, not threatening the general manager, these are bare minimum expectations of a professional workplace. And in exchange, he'd get tens of millions of dollars in guaranteed money. Antonio was turning minor inconveniences into existential battles.
I'm saying.
As a result, the team would grant his request, and he was released that same day.
Free! Let's go! Grandma ain't
Ah, God is the greatest.
My guy
It ain't God. It ain't God. You know what I'm saying? That's you, man. God ain't got nothing to do with that. God is the great. That's not God. That's you, bro. God ain't had nothing to do with this. You know what I mean? God looking up there. Why the freak are you naming me for? You know what I'm saying? Why am I being brought up in this conversation? Me? Not me. You.
acting like he got out of prison. I've never seen someone so happy after losing $30 million. In his time with the Raiders, Antonio never suited up for a regular season game, yet he managed to create nothing but drama and problems for the organization. With his track record, you would think that no team would be willing to give him a shot. That was until the greatest quarterback of all time saw potential in him that nobody else did.
It's extremely real. A one-year deal for Antonio Brown with the New England Patriots. Yes, actually, the New England Patriots. It's a one-year deal worth up to $15 million.
AB had yet another opportunity to play in the NFL.
Look how many opportunities you got, AB. And then AB would have, acted straight with the Patriots and then went crazy with the Patriots, man. Oh my God.
In New England Patriots. Tom Brady himself was one of the main reasons the team decided to bring him onto the roster, and Tom even offered to let AB stay at his house until he got settled in New England. But unfortunately, Antonio failed to prove that he was nothing more than just a locker room cancer. Just a few days after signing, Antonio would be named in a lawsuit in which a former trainer alleged that he had SA'd her multiple times in 2017 and 2018. Through his lawyer, Brown would deny these allegations, claiming that all encounters between the two were consensual. The Patriots did acknowledge the suit and stated that they would be awaiting the results of the pending investigation.
Women be lying too much, bro.
AB would get the chance to play for the Patriots, appearing in
be
the
lying
Week
too
2
much.
matchup against the Miami Dolphins.
I don't believe none
However,
she's saying.
this would be the only game Antonio Brown ever played in a Patriots jersey, as a handful of other allegations were right around the corner. In a story posted by Sports Illustrated, nearly 24 individuals who worked closely with Brown were interviewed and talked about their experiences with the former All-Pro talent. One individual alleged AB of misconduct and described a similar experience as his previous accuser. AB would make the situation worse when he sent a series of threatening text messages towards the accuser, where he just repeatedly called her broke, suggesting that she was desperate for a payout. And
No cap, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he didn't, but it'd be crazy, when stuff be happening with a person, then all these people just come out of nowhere at the woodwork. That's all I be saying, bro. It don't be weird to me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't be believing none of that. I'm gonna just keep it real. You know what I mean? You don't say nothing now. You don't say nothing until stuff start happening to him. Why you ain't come out and start saying, you know what I mean? When things was regular, when things was cool, why you ain't say nothing then? Now when things looking bad for him, now you want to come out. You know what I mean? Now when he got all these problems, now you want to come out and say he did this. Nah, man, bro. I mean, bro, it's women that begin, you know what I'm saying? What's the name, bro? You know what I mean? I know that for Sholioli, but I don't be believing some of these women, bro. Some of these women be lying, bro.
even sent pictures of her own children, even though they had nothing to do with
Somebody
the
wouldn't be
matter.
freaking
The
lying,
Patriots
bro.
officially had
Okay.
enough, and they chose to release AB shortly after these texts were leaked. In less than a year, AB had been kicked off 3 NFL teams. No matter how talented he was, his off-the-field antics were too risky to deal with. He was initially hoping to sign with another team, but then he changed his mind and announced his retirement. But then he changed his mind again a few days later and announced that he's not retiring. But there were still no teams willing to sign him. From there, Antonio made headlines after getting into a domestic dispute with the mother of his children. Bizarrely, AB chose to live stream the police investigation to his Instagram, in which he verbally berates both his ex and the officers.
Thought you was taking them to school, sir. She supposed to take the kids to school. She came here to steal a car. She's staying at a hotel. Ask her where she's staying. That got 2 more other kids somewhere else she don't know.
Then again, maybe this was just a part of his rollout for his rap career, because AB dropped 5 songs in January of 2020, starting with the single Whole Lotta Money that went viral for how bad it was. And I guess now that he had a new rapper persona, becoming violent would add to the brand, because he had a warrant put out for his arrest after he assaulted a delivery driver.
That's when a delivery driver tried to deliver some of Brown's items from California. Police say Brown apparently refused to pay, threw a rock at the delivery truck, caused some damage to it. The driver agreed to come back. And the driver said that Brown then grabbed him and pulled on him, causing some scratches on him. Police were called. When they arrived, investigators say Brown went into his home and did not come out.
With charges of burglary, battery, and criminal mischief, Brown turned himself into the police. In court, prosecutors argued that AB was a danger to society, posed a flight risk, and requested that he remain in custody until his trial's conclusion. While he lucked out and was able to walk out of jail on a $100,000 bond, he wasn't free of consequences. He received 2 years of probation and a $1.2 million fine, but it's all good because he's got a whole lot of money. Because of his never-ending bad behavior, the NFL handed him an 8-game suspension for violating their personal conduct policy. Since he was not on a team, that meant if he did eventually get signed, he would have to sit out of the first 8 games before being able to play. And while you might think that this would only dissuade teams from bringing him in, you'd be mistaken, as Tom Brady once again came to the rescue for Antonio Brown. AB signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the 2020 and 2021 season. His former Patriots teammate Tom Brady had recently joined the team as well and was the main advocate to bring him in. And Brady once again offered him a room at his home to make sure AB was taken care of. And even though everyone thought this would be a disaster, it was actually the total opposite. After serving his suspension, AB had a productive season.
It never was the talent with AB. It never was the talent. You know what I'm saying? It never was the talent with AB. You know what I'm saying? Like, AB could have still been in the league. It never was the talent. Bro was literally getting cut. He was getting off the teams because of him. Literally, it wasn't the talent, bro. So AB doing what AB was doing on the Buccaneers, it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a surprise to everybody. You know, everybody know AB's still talented. Bro just stupid.
The field, but more importantly, he managed to stay out of trouble. To top it all off, he even caught a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl, helping the Bucs secure the Lombardi Trophy. AB did what many thought was impossible. He put football first, and as a result, he won the trophy that every football player dreams of. This should have been a moment of reflection for him, that despite all of the nonsense off the field, he could remain
still hold up Lombardi,
and prove himself as still the best in the game. Many assumed that he had changed for the better, and we were about to see one of the most legendary redemption arcs of all time, but actually this was just about to be the end of his football career. In the following season, Brown was suspended for 3 games for submitting a fake COVID vaccination card with the league. In response, Buccaneers head coach Bruce Arians implied that AB's time with the team was up in the air.
The league did their due diligence and we move on. I will not address those guys for the next 3 weeks. They'll just be working out, and then we'll address their future at that time.
Shortly after returning, Antonio was seen having another meltdown on the sideline, taking off his jersey, throwing his shoulder pads to the ground in anger, and jogging off the field. This was the last time Antonio Brown ever stepped on an NFL field. After the game, head coach Bruce Arians confirmed that this was the final straw.
What happened to Antonio Brown? Did he quit? I've never seen a guy leave a field like that, and is this the last strike for him?
He is no longer a Buck.
Arians tried to get Brown to go in again, and he refused, which is when Arians told Brown to leave. AB claimed that he refused to go in due to an ankle injury he had been forced to play through. I took a seat on the sideline, and my coach came up to me, very upset, and shouted, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" I told him, "It's my ankle." But he knew that. It was well documented, and we had discussed it. He then ordered me to get on the field. I said, "Coach, I can't." He didn't call for medical attention. Instead, he shouted at me, "You're done," while he ran his finger across his throat. Coach was telling me that if I didn't play hurt, that I was done with the Bucs. While MRIs did prove that AB was playing through an injury, Arians denied his story and claimed he had no idea his ankle was hurt. And because AB had burned every bridge and destroyed all goodwill with the public, nobody had any reason to believe him or come to his defense. So from there, Antonio Brown had officially been relegated from NFL superstar to social media influencer and wannabe rapper, posting endlessly on his Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter, which only opened up a wide open door of opportunity to keep getting in trouble. While staying at a hotel in Abu Dhabi, AB was filmed harassing a woman in the hotel's pool. He can be seen flashing the woman and shoving his private parts into the woman's face. I'm not sure how much I'll be able to show, but he jumped out of the pool and stuck his butt in her face. Then he began picking her up and throwing her into the pool. Then as she was swimming away, he flashed his manhood to everyone in the pool. The woman quickly reported him to hotel staff, and he was asked to leave shortly after. Antonio claimed that the situation was taken out of context and that she took off his bathing suit and that the media was targeting him. A few months later, a warrant for AB's arrest was issued in Tampa Bay. Antonio was accused of locking the mother of his children outside of her home, tossed her belongings out of a window, threw a shoe at her, and even threatened to shoot her. While these charges were dropped shortly after, it was clear that his mental health was declining more and more as the days went on. But perhaps the most clear indication of how destructive AB is was when he bankrupted an entire football franchise. The arena football team, Albany Empire, was in desperate need of funding. The organization chose to ignore Antonio's past and bring him in as an owner. He paid $350,000 for a 47.5% ownership stake in the team, and problems arose immediately, as players began noticing that payments were not being processed on time. As a result, some players contemplated sitting out of an upcoming game. However, they changed their minds after being shown proof of payment. Everything seemed to be fine until the game had ended and they returned to their hotels, where they discovered their room keys no longer worked. According to the staff at the hotel, Brown had intervened and had their rooms canceled in retaliation for their issues with payment. The team's ownership partners already began regretting their decision to bring Antonio on and attempted to buy him out of his share, but Antonio refused to go anywhere and continued to skimp out on payments to the players, staff, and to the league. This was a violation of league policy, and the Albany Empire team was kicked out of the National Arena League as a result. It was at this point that whatever reputation AB had left was completely destroyed. Not only were teams unwilling to sign him, but no one in their right mind would be willing to do business with him either. The only thing he still had going for him was his online troll persona, which managed to keep himself relevant on his way spiraling down to rock bottom. He found himself in controversy after sharing an AI-generated image of himself making out with Taylor Swift. He made headlines for celebrating Morgan Wallen, calling him Cracker of the Day after he was arrested for throwing a chair off a balcony. Referencing his similar run-in with the law, AB said, "We got a lot in common." He was blocked by WNBA star Caitlin Clark after making an inappropriate comment that many have described as harassment. After getting blocked, AB doubled down on his comments and questioned why she was offended. But the worst of them all, a true testament of how low AB was willing to go for some internet clout, is how he disrespected the one man who believed in him when nobody else did, Tom Brady.
Brady can't do shit by himself, but you guys gonna make it seem like he's just this horror guy. Bro, we're all humans, bro. We all dependent on someone else to do the job. How'd he help me? Would he help my career to come back?
No,
because
just like
they helped
letting you
him.
stay at his house and
Bro, stay at his house. I got my own money, bro. You guys know who I am?
I like the fact.
I don't need to stay at no one house. I got my own houses. Guys do that to influence you guys in the publicly, like, oh, he's at Tom's house, then he's maybe a good guy.
Right.
But I thought I was a good guy. I was a great football player. That's why you guys know me, right?
Tom Brady attempted to save AB's career twice, one time in New England and the second time in Tampa Bay. After AB was kicked off the Buccaneers, he still supported him. Tom said, "I think everybody should hopefully do what they can to help him in ways that he really needs it. We all love him. We care about him deeply. We want to see him be at his best. And unfortunately, it won't be with our team, but we have a lot of friendships that will last. I think everyone should be very compassionate and empathetic towards some very difficult things that are happening." Despite Tom unapologetically supporting Antonio at his lowest moments, when Tom Brady's divorce made headlines, AB posted a bunch of photos mocking Tom with his now ex-wife Giselle, and began frequently insulting Tom on social media whenever he got the chance. He even leaked a private text conversation with Tom where Brady is giving AB some much-needed but honest tough love, calling him selfish, irrational, and irresponsible. AB would frequently provoke Tom with fake nude pictures of his wife and offhanded comments over the next few years. However,
tweaking, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, AB, bro, you tweaking, bro. You know what I'm saying? Never burn bridges, man. Never burn bridges. You know what I'm saying? Ever, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I feel like this is an AB problem. I don't feel like this is a CTE problem. I feel like he just let money, like y'all hear how he talk? You know who I am? You know who I am? Money got to his head, man. Money got to his head. Once he got that money, once he got that fame, bro, I feel like AB always been like this. You know what I'm saying? I feel like AB always been like this. You know what I mean? They always say, you know what I mean, when you get money, you know what I mean? That's who you see what a person truly is. You know what I'm saying? So the way he acted and all that, I feel like he been like this. I feel like that money and that fame just exposed it. You know what I'm saying? You know, they ain't got the money and the fame, so they really can't act how they want to act. All these freaking rappers y'all be seeing, I don't be understanding how y'all be listening to these rappers that be like downplaying y'all. You know what I'm saying? that be freaking like trashing on y'all. You know what I mean? Like, when you see a person get money, bro, like these rappers, they're far from humble. That's why they don't last long. You realize the most cockiest people don't last long? You feel me? I'm telling you, these folks don't be humble, bro. How they were already, they just couldn't show it yet. Know what I'm saying? But when they got money, that's how they were already, bro. That's how they were already, bro. So I feel like this is how he was already before he got money, in fact.
However, in 2024,
he just couldn't really
surprisingly apologize for his actions towards Brady and posted a recording of a phone call where Tom had accepted his apology. Love my teammate and friend. He helped me out the mud, and I'm forever grateful for him. I'm sorry for my side of everything. But unfortunately, Antonio Brown would finally get himself in a situation that he could not simply apologize for. One that may land him in federal prison for a very long time. During a boxing event hosted by Aiden Ross, AB claimed that he was jumped by multiple people who tried to steal his jewelry and stated that he would be taking legal action against his assaulters. But a month later, a warrant for his arrest was filed on charges of attempted murder. Antonio failed to mention that during the scuffle, he had stolen a security guard's gun during the encounter and fired multiple shots at his alleged attackers. From there, AB antagonized the Miami police on Twitter, and he fled the country, traveling to Dubai to hopefully evade charges back in the States. But in November, he was finally arrested in Dubai and extradited to the United States to face his attempted second-degree murder charge. AB faces up to 25 or 30 years in prison if found guilty, and he awaits trial to this day. He and his team recently motioned for dismissal, claiming that he was just standing his ground in self-defense.
Can't stand your ground. Can't stand your ground while chasing after somebody. You know what I'm saying? If somebody trying to jump me, like I said, if somebody trying to jump me, I'm for sure gonna shoot you. I ain't gonna lie. I don't fight when it comes to jumping. I'm for sure gonna shoot you. You know what I'm saying? You try to jump me, gang, I ain't gonna lie. You gonna die. Keep it real. You gonna die. I don't care if it's 2 people. Try to jump me, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You gonna get shot. You know what I mean? That's just me, period. But if I see you ain't, you know what I mean, you walking away, you're not trying to do anything anymore, why am I chasing after you? See, you're chasing after them now. You know what I mean? Yeah, you should have did that when they were trying to jump you, when they were going to jump you. Now they walking away. So now you are the aggressor. No self-defense in his action, bro.
See him chasing after his attackers. But even if AB manages to dodge this conviction, it's only a matter of time before he finds himself in serious trouble again. Antonio Brown was given more second chances than anyone with his reputation deserved. The reality is that he was never willing to truly hold himself accountable for his behavior that was at best childish and annoying, or at worst life-threatening to others. Now, if we were talking about your random social media influencer or C-list actor, then maybe this wouldn't be so shocking. But Antonio Brown had a genuine chance of being one of the greatest NFL wide receivers of all time, and most definitely would have been a Hall of Famer, let alone the hundreds of millions of dollars that he would have made along the way. Imagine someone choosing to be a Twitter troll with a growing criminal record over being a sports legend who could be filthy rich and inspire a generation to follow their lead. When times got tough and he didn't get his way, AB quit and blamed everyone else but himself. That's his legacy. In a weird way, I hope we can blame his downfall on CTE, because then it might make sense. Otherwise, it's just pathetic. But this type of self-destruction isn't entirely unique to AB. It reminds me a lot of Conor McGregor, someone who got countless opportunities to change, but eventually found himself guilty.
That's how that money got to him. Same thing when it came to him. Y'all see it a repeated cycle. Get money, bro, they start feeling themselves, and they just start feeling like they a god, and you're just not. You're not a god, bro. You're a human being, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let that money get to your head, bro, and then, you know, telling you the best, if you stay humble, bro, I'm telling you, everything gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? But once you start acting like you just a god, and I got all this money, and I got all this fame, once you start letting that